Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to TalkCast English TV.
Where learning English is always easy, fun, and natural.
Grab a snack because today we are talking about the most delicious topic of all.
We are talking about everything to do with food in English.
Food is one of the most common and necessary conversations you will ever have, whether you are traveling, meeting new colleagues, or just talking to a neighbor.
The problem is, most English learners only know how to say, I like pizza. We want to teach you how to describe why you like it, how you cook it, where you eat it, and what it reminds you of.
Today, we are going to cover 5 essential areas: taste and texture vocabulary, cooking verbs, English at the restaurant, talking about meals, and finally, food idioms.
By the end of this episode, you will have a vocabulary rich enough to describe a three-course meal with confidence. So, if you are hungry for more advanced descriptive English, you are in the right place.
But before we dive into the menu, we have one quick, important request. If you love learning with our simple, fun method, please take a moment to subscribe to TalkCast English TV.
Yes, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It helps us a lot and ensures we can keep creating these practical lessons for learners all over the world.
Thank you so much for your support. It means everything to us. Now, let's begin our feast of vocabulary with the most important part of food description: taste and texture. As we mentioned before, simple taste words are sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. But we need to go deeper to sound natural.
Let's start with expanding on positive tastes. Instead of just sweet, you can say a food is delicious or delectable.
And when a flavor is very strong and exciting, we say it is vibrant or zesty. Citrus fruits like lemons or limes are often zesty.
When a food has a lot of flavor and spices, we call it flavorful. The opposite of that is bland. Bland means it has no flavor or a very boring flavor.
If you try a soup that needs salt, you can say, "This soup is a little bland." It is a polite way to say it needs improvement.
What about strong flavors? We talked about spicy. Usually, it means it contains chili or pepper. But for very powerful flavors that might make you cough, like strong garlic or ginger, we say pungent.
Pungent is a great word, and one of the most important flavor adjectives is aromatic. This means the food has a wonderful, strong smell.
For example, when you smell fresh basil or cinnamon, you can say, "Wow, that is so aromatic." Scent and flavor are very connected.
Now, let's switch to texture. Texture is how the food feels in your mouth. This is where many learners struggle.
We know crispy, like chips, and soft, like bread. Let's look at foods that are not solid.
For smooth, thick liquids like cream or certain soups, we use velvety or silky. It suggests a beautiful, luxurious texture.
For things that are slightly thick and sticky, like crisp rice or very melted cheese, we use gooey. Gooey is a very satisfying word to describe a dessert.
And what about baked goods, bread, cakes, and pancakes? If they are light and airy, we say they are fluffy.
If they have a lot of moisture and are not dry, we say they are moist. A dry cake is never good. A moist cake is delicious.
Finally, let's talk about meat. When meat is easy to cut and chew, we say it is tender. If it is hard to chew, it is tough.
So, a perfect sentence is, "This steak is so tender and the sauce is so rich and velvety." See how much better that sounds?
Now, everyone, commit to using one of these new adjectives the next time you eat. That is your first micro challenge.
Now that we can describe food, we need to talk about how it is made. This requires a lot of specific cooking verbs.
This segment focuses on the verbs you need to describe different cooking methods. This is essential whether you are reading a recipe or discussing dinner plans.
Let's start with the dry heat methods, baking and roasting.
Baking is usually for things like bread, cakes, and cookies. We bake a cake in the oven.
Roasting is usually for meat and vegetables. We roast a chicken or roast potatoes. Both use the oven, but the items are different.
Next, the water methods, boiling and simmering.
Boiling means heating water until it bubbles rapidly. We boil pasta or eggs. Simmering means keeping the water just below boiling, very gently. We simmer a sauce or a soup for a long time.
Simmering is key for deep flavor. You can say, I simmered the sauce for 2 hours to make it richer.
Now, the fast heat methods, frying and grilling.
Frying means cooking food in hot oil. We fry eggs or French fries. When you use very little oil, we say sautéing. You sauté vegetables quickly in a pan.
Grilling or barbecuing means cooking food over direct heat, often outside. We grill burgers or vegetables.
Now, let's talk about preparation verbs. These are for the actions before the food touches the heat.
We chop or dice vegetables. Chop is general cutting. Dice is cutting into small, even cubes.
We peel fruits and vegetables. to remove the skin. We peel potatoes or bananas.
We mix ingredients together. If we do it quickly with a tool, we say whisk. We whisk eggs or cream.
So when you tell a story about cooking, you use all these verbs. Lucas, walk us through a quick recipe for a soup.
First, I chop the carrots and potatoes. Then I sauté the onions in a little oil. Next, I add the vegetables and pour in the water. I bring it to a boil, and then I simmer it gently for 30 minutes.
Perfect. You used 5 different cooking verbs and phrases. Your listeners now have a clear image of your process. Talking about food is also about talking about your schedule and your habits. This is where the simple present and simple continuous tenses are essential.
Remember, simple present for habits. I have toast for breakfast. Present continuous for now. I am having dinner right now.
Let's talk about asking and answering questions about meals.
What do you usually have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
I usually have a light lunch, often a sandwich or a salad. I don't eat anything heavy during the day.
What are you having for dinner tonight?
I am making pasta with a creamy tomato sauce tonight. It is a treat.
Now, let's discuss specific meal-related vocabulary. First, leftovers.
Leftovers are food that you cook one day and then eat the next day. I ate the leftovers from last night's dinner for lunch today.
Second, meal prep. This is the process of preparing all your meals for the week on one day. I do my meal prep every Sunday.
Third, takeout or delivery. This is food you order from a restaurant and eat at home. I was too tired to cook, so I ordered takeout.
Fourth, the verb snack. A snack is a small amount of food eaten between meals. I usually snack on fruit in the afternoon.
And the phrase, grab a bite. It means to eat something quickly. Let's grab a bite before the movie.
This vocabulary shows you are fluent in talking about real-life, practical situations. Alina, did you have any leftovers from the pasta you made yesterday?
Yes, I did. I am planning to have those leftovers for lunch tomorrow. No meal prep needed for that day.
Perfect. Now let's take our eating outside the home and look at how to speak English in a restaurant. When you are at a restaurant, confidence and politeness are key. We rely heavily on modal verbs to be polite.
The most common mistake is saying, I want, which can sound demanding. We need to replace that with polite alternatives.
For ordering, use I'll take, or I'd like, or could I have?
For example, I will take the fish dish, please, or I would like the chicken, please.
If you need a recommendation, you can ask, could you recommend a good dessert? Or what is your most popular dish?
If you have a specific need, you use the phrase, is this dish? Is this dish spicy? Or is this dish vegetarian?
Now let's practice a short role play. I am the waiter and you are the customer. Hello, welcome to TalkCast Cafe. Are you ready to order or do you need a few more minutes?
I am ready, thank you. Could I have the menu again? I think I lost it.
Of course. Here you are. What would you like to order today?
I will take the burger, please. And could you tell me if it comes with chips or salad?
It comes with chips, but you can substitute for a salad.
Great. I will take the salad, please. Thank you. See how many times we used polite alternatives? Could I have? I will take. Could you tell me? Practice those.
Now, let's talk about a difficult scenario. Complaining politely.
Never be aggressive. Use the phrase, this is a bit.
For example, excuse me, the soup is a bit cold. Or, I think the meat is a bit tough.
This phrase is soft and polite. It tells them there is a problem without accusing anyone. Then you say, could I get a fresh one, please?
This is excellent practical English for a high-pressure situation.
Food conversations often lead to talking about diet, health, and allergies. This is a very important vocabulary set.
Let's start with allergies and restrictions. The phrase to use is, I am allergic to, or I can't eat.
For example, I am allergic to peanuts, or I can't eat dairy products.
If you are vegetarian, you can say, I am a vegetarian. If you are vegan, you say, I am vegan.
Now, let's discuss general diet and health. We use phrases like eating habits and healthy diet.
Alina, how do you describe your eating habits?
I try to eat a healthy diet. I focus on fresh vegetables and protein. I try to avoid processed foods.
And I try to limit my sugar intake. I have a weakness for sweets, so I try to eat them in moderation.
To limit your intake and in moderation are both great phrases. They mean you are controlling the amount you eat.
We can also use words to describe the food itself. Nutritious, high in fiber, or low in fat.
The opposite is junk food or processed food. I treat myself to junk food only once a week.
Using this vocabulary shows you can discuss complex personal topics with ease and maturity.
The final fun section is about idioms. These are phrases where the meaning is not obvious from the individual words, but native speakers use them constantly.
Idioms make your English sound natural, fluent, and fun. Idiom number 1, a piece of cake. This means something is very easy. The English exam was a piece of cake.
Idiom number 2, to spill the beans. This means to reveal a secret, often accidentally. Don't spill the beans about the party.
Idiom number 3, to bring home the bacon. This means to earn the money that supports the family. My mom brings home the bacon in our family.
Idiom number 4, comfort food. This is food that makes you feel happy, nostalgic, and safe, usually from your childhood. My comfort food is mashed potatoes.
My comfort food is warm soup. It reminds me of my mother. Let's also talk about some cultural English words related to meals. Brunch.
Brunch is a meal eaten late in the morning that combines breakfast and lunch. It is usually eaten on weekends.
Potluck. A potluck is a meal where every guest brings a dish to share. It is a very common phrase for informal gatherings.
And finally, a foodie. A foodie is a person who has a passionate interest in food and loves to try new and unusual dishes.
I think we are both self-proclaimed foodies, Alina. We love talking about rich and velvety sauces.
We are definitely foodies. Now, everyone, use one of these idioms in a conversation this week.
Conclusion and final challenge. Wow, we have covered so much ground today, from zesty flavors to potluck dinners.
You now have the full vocabulary kit to describe any food experience. Let's do a quick recap of the three most important actions you learned today.
1. Be descriptive. Stop using good and use words like aromatic, zesty, tender, or velvety.
2. Be active. Use specific verbs like simmer, sauté, and whisk when talking about cooking.
3. Be polite. Use I'd like and could I have when ordering in a restaurant.
Now, for your final serious challenge today, this is the moment to put everything into practice.
We want you to think about the last meal you cooked or ate. It can just be a sandwich.
And we want you to describe that meal in a short paragraph using at least 5 different words you learned today.
Example: I sautéed the vegetables for 5 minutes. The sauce was very rich and aromatic. It was my favorite comfort food because it felt very tender.
Write your descriptive paragraph in the comments below. We want to read your delicious sentences and celebrate your fluency.
Your ability to talk about food with detail is a huge step toward everyday fluency. Keep practicing these words and you will see your English confidence soar.
Before we say goodbye, please remember to subscribe to TalkCast English TV if you haven't yet.
And please give us a thumbs up if you found this lesson filling and helpful.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this feast of English vocabulary. We hope you are now feeling full of confidence.
Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself.
And keep speaking with confidence.
Until next time, this is Lucas.
And this is Alina. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and enjoy every delicious bite described perfectly in English.